Hello everybody, we'll build exactly the same in-class assignment that we built in the previous video. Instead of using list views, we're gonna use RecyclerViews just to show you the difference and how to implement each one of them. So basically this is just to remind you, this is what we built using list views. This is a list view. You click on the category, it gets you to the app, the list of apps within that category. Click on the app, it shows you the information about the genres of the app, the name of the app, and so on. So basically, I'd like to build exactly the same application, but instead of using list views, I would like to use the RecyclerViews. All right, so how do we do that? It's straightforward. We'll look at it in a little bit. Okay, so let's start with the first screen, which is the app categories fragment, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and change the layout such that instead of it using an array list, I'll just instead of using a list view, I'm going to use recycler view. So now how do I do that? Let me open all the three, 1, 2, and 3. These are the three layouts that we have here, and these are the three layouts that we have, and I'm going to change them. Okay, so I'm going to change them to use list instead of list views. I'm going to change them to use recycler views. So I'll delete this. I click here, recycler view, drag, drop, and I'll also set the constraints very similar. Here we are, set the constraints, make it maybe a little bit of a margin here, make it 0, 0, and 0. And then basically now the recycler view also make sure that the width and height are set to 0. So basically click here and click here. Very important. Okay, recycler view, and I'll call it recycler view. Okay, here we are. So we're good here. We did the recycler view for the first screen. The second screen, let's see if we are able to convert to. Are we able to convert? Oh, it can't. So basically refractor. No. Okay. All right. So we go here. I'll delete it. Here we are. I'll go here and do recycler view, drag and drop, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here is 0, 0, 0, and this guy I'm going to make it 8. Here we are. So here is the recycler view. Click here, recycler view, and here we are. And then basically click once, click twice. Here it is. So here is the recycler view. All right. So we have the recycler view set up here also, and I am going to close this. And then the last one has just a big recycler view in the whole thing. So I'll go here, recycler view, drag and drop. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here's 1, here's 2, 0, 0, 0, and 0. And I have my recycler view, call it recycler view. All right, good. So we are good with the recycler view. We have our recycler views, things are okay, and so on. Okay, good. So now let's have a look at how the layouts look like now. So we have the categories, here they are, and then we have the app list. Here's the app list, and then the app details, exactly the same, but instead of a list view, we have a recycler view. Okay, so now let's say we would like to build, let's remove the code that we have in the categories fragment, the details fragment, and the list fragment, because it's assuming that there is a list view. So basically all the code that had to do with the adapter I'm going to delete. So for the app categories, for example, I don't need all of this code, right? So all of this stuff, I don't need it. The adapter doesn't exist anymore. This adapter also will go away. Let me just do a Control Z here. So basically anything that has to do with the list view I'm going to remove. So this and this and this I'm going to remove. I'm going to keep the other stuff. So basically this one is just showing the title at the top, and I got my categories. I delete the adapter. Okay, and so on. So basically here we are. Okay, good. Good. So now as for the app details, the same story. I will get rid of the adapter, also, and anything related to the list view. And the app list details, I have a custom adapter that I don't need. There is a class that I created here that I will not be able to use now. So this one goes Okay, so this stuff goes away. Here we are. And then the list view stuff also goes away, and even the adapter also goes away. Okay, good. So now at least my app now, all the errors are, there are no errors. Oh, good. Okay. Now something else I would like to highlight here is that with RecyclerViews, I can use the default Android layout, you know, because this is a simple list item one. I can do that. But with RecyclerViews, it doesn't come with these lines, you know, that appear when you use list views. So if we go back to the emulator, you see here these lines. They are not in by default by RecyclerViews. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create. Okay, so let's go to the layout. I'm gonna right click new, and I'm gonna create a new layout, and I'm gonna call it, for example, simple row item. So that simple row item is just going to have one. So basically, it's a constraint layout. I'm gonna add the cart view. So I'm going to add to it a cart view. Here it is. Here's my cart view. And then inside that cart view, I'm going to add a constraint layout. Right. So basically, I'm just adding a constraint layout here. And then inside the constraint layout, the cart view, I want the cart view to, let's say, the height of it is just to match parent, you know, and the cart view, I need to give it some constraints, you know. So I'm just going to go with it. Here it is. So basically, even the bottom of it is here. So this is the cart view, and inside the cart view, there is this constraint layout. Okay, the cart view, let me give it a little bit of a margin so you see what I'm talking about here. So let me give it 16, so that you could see it. 16 and 16, and here's the cart view. Okay, so here is my cart view. Here it is. And why is it not showing up? Because of the width. You see, we fixed the width. You see, now you can see the cart view. You could see that it's a little bit elevated and there is a shadow. You see here? Okay. And then there is a constraint layout inside here, and it matches the parent. I'm just going to add a text view inside it. Here's the text view. And then that text view, I'm just going to make it take all the space. Here it is. And maybe it having, let's do this and this, so it takes the whole width. And now you see it doesn't look that nice, but let's go into the code, and then the middle constraint layout, you see here, this middle constraint layout, give it a little bit of padding. Let's say we give it a padding of 10 dp. Now notice what happens. This text, you see here, it went in a little bit. Now this constraint layout, now let's go back here. I don't need it to take all the space. So basically this, let's say this is the top constraint layout, and then this constraint layout, the inside one, I want its height is to wrap content. You see here, that's this constraint, it only wraps this content. And then similarly, the cart view, I want its height is to just to wrap content. So now I have, here it is, right? And then I have this top constraint layout that I really don't need. I just had it because if you look at the code, I have this is my design. You see here, if I split, see, I have a cart view, which is enough. I don't need the outer constraint layout. So what I'm going to do is a little bit interesting. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy that stuff from here, Control X, and I'm going to paste it here. I know it's not happy, and I'm going to take the cart view, all of that stuff from here, and I'm going to make the cart view the top view. So basically here it is. Here's my cart view, and its width, I would like its width is to match parent. All right, so here it is. You see here is my cart view, and the cart view, does it have any padding? Let's see. Here's my cart view, and it has all these margins. I don't need all these margins also. Here it is. So basically here is my cart view. You can see here it is, and maybe I can give it a little bit of the cart view. Maybe I give it a little bit of let's see, I give it 16 is a little bit extensive, but here is my cart view, and maybe we can change the instead of it being 16, make it maybe 8. Okay, maybe a little bit smaller, it's too big. And look at this design. You see here there is a little bit of a margin. So basically what I did is I just created a design which has a little bit of, uses the cart view and the card view just has this shadow around the card, and then inside it I'll have maybe text view, a simple text view. I'll just call it text view and continue. So it's going to be text view inside it, just called text view. Okay, that's called simple row item. Okay, very nice. So now go back here. It's just a layout to display these, right? So now in order to use the recycler view, you have to implement an adapter. Okay, and the adapter is also straightforward, but you have to be a little bit careful. So let's see. Here it is. I'll start by creating a class. I'll call it let's say categories adapter. All right, extends recycler view dot adapter, and it needs a view holder class. I don't have it yet, so the view holder class is inside here. It should be implemented here also, a class, and I'll call it, for example, category view holder. Okay, extends recycler view dot view holder, right? So basically then this should be of this type, so basically this will go here. All right, now the view holder class, we need to go in and create the matching superclass, so that's the view holder. Okay, so we have the view holder. Let's worry about it in a little bit. Now let's see why this guy is not happy. There are some implemented methods that we need to implement, and press enter. Here we are. Cool. So now get item count. All right, so if we look up a little bit, this is the categories, and then the categories are got here. So basically I could do here get item count is categories get dot size. There it is. Now there are a couple of methods that I have to worry about. The first one is returns a view holder. This one is just to create the view holder, and basically all what this should do is just create the view holder. All right, so basically for me to create the view holder, first I'd like to, you see also the view holder receives a view. So basically that's the view that the view holder is going to hold, right? So basically here we need to give that view holder a view. So now in order to get the view, I need to inflate view equals get inflator. Here is get inflator dot inflate, and basically r.id.r.layout dot simple list item, simple row item, and then that's this one, and then parent, then false. Here is this is the view, and then basically we need to just return card view holder. So basically I'm going, and you see here the constructor receives a view. So basically I'm going to return new card view holder and pass it the view, and that becomes what this line does. So that's basically just you inflate the row that you would like to display, and then here on bind view holder. So basically here it gives you a position in that categories list and a holder, and then you just go and do whatever you like to do. So basically here, usually what we do is, because you have access to the view here, we know that this view has a text view only. So this is text view, and it's called text view, right? So basically what we could do here, we could just say text view equals item view dot find view by id r dot id dot text view. That becomes the text view itself. Also we can store that view as the root view. So this is the root view, and we could just say root view equals item view. So you can do stuff like this, and where does this happen is here. When you create a new instance, we catch all of that stuff. Now to do the binding, basically you have a holder and you have a position. So from the position you can find out the category, right? So you could say string category equals categories dot get at position. So that's the category, and then here we could just have a method called public void setup UI, and you're gonna send me the category. Okay, so a string category, category, and then basically here what I would like to do is textView.set text to category, just for the sake of testing here, and then we'll do holder dot setup UI and we send it the category. You see here you get the holder and you get the position. From the position we can get what category you want to display. You pass the category to the holder will display it. We also will have to store the category or store the position so that when you click, and we handle the clicking, but I'm not going to do that right now, but let's just show the category, the adapter. So basically in order to do this I need an adapter. Put this code here. I need an adapter, call it adapter. Now after you have your categories, let's set up the adapter. Adapter equals new categories adapter. And what does the categories adapter need? You see here the constructor for the categories adapter doesn't need anything. Good. Okay. And then we have the view holder. So we'll do binding dot RecyclerView dot set layout manager new linear layout manager. And then what does the linear layout manager need? It needs the context. So I'll do that. So it needs the context. So I'll do get activity. So here is the context. So I have the linear layout manager done. That's this is all boilerplate code that you have to do. And then binding dot RecyclerView dot set adapter to the adapter that we created. Now if we run this, will it work? Let's see. Okay. And here we are. You see I have these I have the recycler what do you call it, the cart view, and this is my recycler view. Okay. Now when you click on one of these, cart views or these views, you want to go somewhere else, right? So basically in order to do that, you see the on item click listener is not exposed like the list view. It is, you have to handle that click in the view holder. So basically we do this here, or we can do it even here. We already have the root view, right? We don't even need to store the root view. We already have the root view. When you click on the root view, so basically the item view, which is this one, item view set on click listener, new view.onClick listener. So basically what we need to do is we'll go and say mListener dot send the selected category here, but we need the category. So where do we get the category? We need to store it. So basically we store it here in the view holder. mCategory, and then when you do the setup UI, we'll say mCategory equal category, and then basically here we will just say mCategory and we can send it. So basically when you do the binding, you send me the category. I'm going to store it so that when you click, it can trigger the going to the next screen. So now we run this. Okay. And then when I click, you see it goes to the next screen. Apps we love, and so on. There is something wrong, but let's see what is going on wrong here, and we can fix it. So send the selected category to the next screen. Actually, it's working, but we need to set up the recycler view on the other side. But anyway, you see here when you click, we're sending the category, right? We need to store it. So when do we have access to the category? We only have access to the category during the binding stage. That's why setup UI, we store the category, right? Do we have access to it in the constructor? We don't. We see here in the constructor for the holder is only have access to the view, which we inflate to send to the view holder. We don't have the position. You see here there is no position, but here we do have the position. From the position we are able to get the category, and then we go from there. All right. So basically we are able to go, and you see that it shows that the category that we pick, let's say top paid apps. You see it shows top paid apps. So the category is moving correctly, right? And here we are. And it is working perfectly, right? Now let's look at how to set up the next one, right? The next one is where we are going to the next screen, which is the app list right here. Here it is, and we have a recycler view, right? And we will do the exact same thing, right? So basically we go to the app list fragment. Here it is, the app list fragment. Where is it? App list fragment. Here it is. And then we can also visualize what it's gonna look like. You see, if you go split, and it's in the recycler view, there is tools. You see here, tools, and here is the item list, and you tell it it's the item list item, and it will look something like this. So you see, that's why when I built the other one, let's say, which was the app categories and code, and this is only to visualize it. These tools are only used by Android Studio to visualize things like this. So tools, you see here, and list item, and it was the simple, right? This is the simple row item. You see, that's how it looks. You see here. You can also tell it how many just you wanted to visualize. Tools and basically item count. Let's say I wanted to display 5. Okay, here it's only displaying 5. Just this is only for the tooling to show you. Okay, so similarly, when the app list, I'm gonna use the one that we built before, which is the Here it is, right? But you see, I need a card view. So now I can do and set up the card view. So basically, the simple row item, I go back here, not the simple, the app list item, right? And it doesn't have a card view. So basically, what I could do is maybe let's do this. What if I need a card view? So basically, I'm gonna copy all of this. I copied it, okay, and then I'm gonna delete this. I know we will need it, so I'm gonna bring it back. It's in the in the I copied it, so in the clipboard. All right, so basically we are here. Let's go and add a card view. Here is the card view 1, 2, and then I go back to the code. We will take, here is this, I'll take the card view out. Here we are, and paste the card view here. I don't need all of this. I can take this one up here, put it up here, and then I need these namespaces. Control C, put it in the card view, and I'm gonna make the card view the root item, right? So here we are, and now I can copy all of this, put it inside the card view. Here it is, put it inside the card view, and I'm going to delete this here. Okay, and all this absolute height, absolute width, and all of that stuff, I don't need all of this. This one I wanted to wrap content. Similarly, the width is match parent. Control S, Control A, Control X, Control V. This is what it's gonna look like. So if you go look at the design, see here there is a card view. The card view itself, I could give it a little bit of a padding. So basically I could go in and give it a top margin or a margin. Maybe I'll give it a margin of maybe, let's say, 6 dp. Now if we go back to the app, and here we are, here is the card view, right? So all what I did is just surrounded it by a card view. It's exactly the same layout, but I surrounded by a card view. Now when you look at the apps, see here, when you look at the app list now, it looks a little bit better. You see, you could see them surrounded by a card view. Okay, cool. So now, functionally itself doesn't change it much, but let's see. So now if we are going to do this, we need a class in the app list fragment, a class, and I call it app adapter extends RecyclerView dot adapter, right? And this is an adapter, and it will need a view holder. So now let's go class app view holder extends RecyclerView dot view holder. All right, and then we start from the view holder. We just create the constructor. Here we are, and then similarly here, implement the methods, and here we are. Now this one needs to be, let me Control Z, need to give it the view holder here, right? And options, enter, import the class, and then you implement the methods, and here we go. All right, good. So now the first one needs to return a view holder. On create view holder, we create the view equal new, equal get inflator dot inflate r.id r.layout dot app list item, and then it needs, after that it needs the parent, and then false. Here it is, and then we return new app view holder and pass it the view. All right, here we are, and that's taken care of. Now on view holder, the binding situation is a little bit different. Now if we go back to the app list item, right? Okay, and it has these 3 text views that I'm interested in their IDs. I'm going to copy them from here, go back here, and then inside the view holder I'm going to create these layouts, these text views, right? So basically here I have text view. This is the first text view, and then I'm going to hold this one, and here we are, the last one. Here we are. I have the text views, the variables declared. Now I would like to initialize them. I'll initialize them here. This is where I have access to them. Text view name equals item view dot find view by id r dot id dot text view name. Okay, and then similarly the other ones. So then text view artist name. Here it is, and then text view date, and here's text view date. So basically this takes care of this and this. Okay, good. All right, so we have that. We'll have void, also void setup UI, and we're going to pass it something, and we'll look at what does it do. Get item count for the adapter is going to be what? The get item count is the app list array list dot size. Okay, that's this. Now setup UI, you're gonna receive an app. So basically I need an app. App equals app list item dot get at position. So I have the app. So basically you set up UI, you're gonna send me an app, right? Here's an app, and I'm going to store that app locally here. So app, here is app, mapp, okay, and I'm gonna say mapp equals app. Here it is. So that's this, and then basically I could go in and say text view app name dot set text or app, mapp dot get name, right? Get the app name. That's the app name. Similarly, the artist name dot set text mapp dot get artist name, right? And then text view the release date dot set text mapp dot set get the release date. All right, so basically I have set up all of these. I'm able to set up the app. Now where to call this setup UI? We call it here. You have access to the holder, and then you do setup UI, you pass it the app. Okay, we can also set up here the on-click listener for clicking on the layout. So item view dot set on-click listener new on-click listener, and then basically this is the going to be mlistener dot send selected app, and the app is going to be mapp. So basically this mapp is stored inside the holder, right? All right, cool. So it seems that things are going to work. So let's run this. Here we are, and you click on new apps we love, and it's not showing up. Why? Because we already created we implemented the constructor, implemented the adapter, the RecyclerView adapter, but we never used it. So basically let's set it up. So we'll do this. This is the adapter, and then similarly we need to initialize it. Adapter equals new adapter. Here we are, and then we do binding dot RecyclerView dot set layout manager new linear layout manager, and get activity. So that's this, and then binding dot RecyclerView dot set adapter to adapter. So here we are. Now when we run this, here we are, we pick the category, we go here, and it shows up. Okay, we go back, we pick the category, and it shows up. Go here, and so on. All right, so now when we click on the app, it also goes to the next screen, you see. So that also works because we already have the on-click listener implemented inside the holder. You see here, when you click, you send the app to the activity loads the next screen. So we're here. Now the genres is also straightforward. So let's go back. So basically if we go to the layout of the app details, and here's the recycler view, let me split. So basically this is the recycler view. I could go in here and say tools, list item, and I'm gonna use this simple row item, and it's gonna look something like this. and maybe I can do tools item count, let's say is 5, and it's gonna look something like this. Okay, cool. So now let's go back to the implementation of this, and I'll go back to the app details fragment, and here we are. And now we have the genres, and this is a string. So basically we go here, class genres adapter, okay, extends recycler view dot adapter, and we know it needs a view holder. Now we go here and class implement the genre view holder, genre view holder extends recycler view dot view holder. All right, and then we need the constructor. There it is. Here's the constructor, and then I can go in here, and there are methods that need to be implemented, and here they are. Cool. So basically this one, get item count, is gonna be mapp.getGenres, or I could do genres if that's gonna make it easier. Here is genres.size, that's the count. Now what do we going to return? Same thing, view equals get inflator dot inflate r dot layout dot simple item row parent false, and then we return new genre view holder, pass it the view, and we are good to go here. Okay, perfect. So now here we need to get from the position, we need to get the genre. So string genre equals genres dot get at position. So we have the genre, and then we need to create the method called setup UI. So we know that there is a text view. Is a text view item. This text view equals item view find view by ID, item view dot find view by ID r dot ID dot text view. So notice that this find view by ID is called using this to call it, using the text view the item view to call it. So basically you are telling the item view, I want you to look in its children for a text view. All right. Okay. So that's this. Now we need to set up public void setup UI, and you're gonna send over the genre. Okay, so genre string genre, and basically we're going to say text view dot set text to genre. Okay. Okay, good. So basically that's what we're going to do, and then when we get the genre, we're going to do holder dot setup UI, holder dot setup. Oh, it's not letting me do that. That's pretty weird. This needs to be the view holder is not behaving. Oh, you see, because we did implement these before we had the. Okay, let me cut this from here. 1 second. We need to make sure that before we implement these methods that we have the correct genre setup here. The genre view holder, right? And then you see when I create the implement the methods, this one will return, you see, the genre view holder. So I copied this already, so that works. And then there's another method that is missing. Okay, good. So that the string is genre equals genres dot get at position, and then we can call holder dot setup UI, and we send it the genre. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do here is now we do binding dot recycler view dot setup layout manager new linear layout manager get activity. So that's this, and then binding dot we need to set up an adapter. So basically we go here, and that's called the genres adapter. Here it is. We need to create an adapter. So adapter equals new genres adapter. Here we are. Recycler view dot set adapter to adapter. All right, cool. So now this should show the genres. Here we are. Here it is. You pick the category, you pick the app, shows you the genres. Go back, pick the app, genres. Go back, pick the app, genres. So basically, you are able to see that we're able to implement this using RecyclerViews. All right, so please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.